Yeah, verse 38. Dando damayatam asmi nitirasmi jigishatam maunam chaivasmi
I'm doing my
guhyanam.
Gita class now, so.
Be quiet.
Guhyanam jnanam jnanavatam aham. So that is the verse 38. So dando damayatam asmi. What is damayatam? What is damana? Do you know what damana means? See, English word dominate, right? Dom. It comes from the root dom, which is dam, as in damana, as in to dominate or to control. That is called damana. So among the strategies to control, I am the danda strategy, right? So let's look at that. We have the strategies, the 4 strategies. One second. This is called as the Tantra Chatushtaya. One second.
Sunil? Sunil?
Yeah, I am back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't know when I lost you, but I was going through the 4 strategies. And those 4 strategies are Sama, Dana, Bheda, Danda. Right? So Dandaha Damayatam Asmi means what these are 4 strategies of control. These are 4 strategies of control. And he says, among that, I am Danda, which means in this group of 4, that stands out, that is extraordinary, that's final, right? Let's look at these strategies. It's also called as Tantra Chatushtaya, the 4 strategies of control. What are those? And I've made it into a 2x2 matrix where, we have studied it this way in the class before. Samadhana, Veda, Danda. So if you look at the rows, it is positive reinforcement is Sama and Dana, right? And negative reinforcement is Veda and Danda. That means seek pleasure, which is Sama and Dana. Avoid pain, which is Veda and Danda. And if you look at the columns, intrinsic, that means more of a mental kind of thing, is Sama and Veda. And extrinsic, Dana and Danda, which is famous as carrot and stick. Dana is carrot and Danda is stick. And what Krishna is saying, the stick is the most powerful of these 4 strategies. Or the violence, or the final is the most powerful of the 4 strategies of control. Okay, so let's look at this. What is Sama? The sama is the conception of sameness, right? It is, again, it is a positive reinforcement. It means it gives you, it is a kind of a seeking pleasure, seeking, being a part of a group, like it's kind of a psychological thing. And it is intrinsic. It is something which, we conceive of, it comes from within, right? And this is basically all these strategies where, you try to unite people by giving them a common identity, a common thing to identify. It might be, you're trying to say we are both belong to the same language. We speak this, or we both are the same jati, right? Or we say come from the same part of India. We are all North Indians. We are all South Indians. So wherever there is a commonality of identity, there is a unity that is forged, because psychologically we seek to identify with a group, and that is pleasure seeking. That is a positive reinforcement, a psychological reinforcement to unite people. And that strategy, positive strategy of uniting, is called sama. That means where you unite people to through some kind of an intrinsic motivation. This is an intrinsic motivation. That is sama. And then in the same row, in a positive way, stick. It is gifting. Many of the sales strategies, discount, giving discounts, freebies, all of those things are dana. It's an extrinsic strategy. That's something you're giving. I mean, it can also be intrinsic, but it is more of an extrinsic. It is giving something. It's a commission, or it's some gift, or whatever it is. That is, again, a positive reinforcement. It's a kind of a pleasure-seeking thing that we reinforce, and it is extrinsic. It also unites people.
Sunil, we lost you again.
I think he's having the internet issue again.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's one of those days.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Looks like you made me as a host. I'm letting people in. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's made me like that. So I'm letting like people in.
Okay. Yeah. So that is sama dana, right? The dana is extrinsic, and then the next row is the top row is it's uniting. So you can say this is uniting, and this is dividing. This is uniting. This is dividing. So in this one, this is negative reinforcement. That means it is avoiding pain. If the top row was seeking pleasure, the bottom row is the avoiding pain strategies. What are those strategies? The Bheda strategy. Again, Bheda is intrinsic, and it's a negative reinforcement. That means it is pain avoiding, not pleasure seeking, but pain avoiding. So if you look at that, the famous divide and rule policy, right, which British and all the European powers used very well. And that is what that means. When you want to divide people, seek to show differences, right? And that is what and it is in it's intrinsic. It's it's coming from within. People, you can divide people by showing differences. It may be in India, it may be the difference of jati. It can be difference of skin color, difference of origin, difference of language, South Indian, North Indian, this, that. All of these differences, when you seek to highlight the difference, you divide people. That is a strategy of Bheda, right? And Europe used it very effectively in India and in Africa, where people who have lived for eons together, they have kind of they have divided them based on, hey, you came from somewhere else, and all of those things that they've done. It is all the Bheda strategy. That means it is kind of divide people by highlighting the difference. The difference might have existed, but nobody gave any importance to the difference. But once you give importance to the difference, see, the sameness and difference is always there, right? We are all Indians, is same. You are a Brahmana here, you are a Shudra. That is also there. You are this jati, I'm that jati. That's also there. You are North Indian, I'm South Indian. That's everything is there all the time. But when you take a certain thing and highlight it as important, then it becomes a Sama strategy where you unite. We are all Indians. You unite that. Or you take a Bheda strategy, or you are a North Indian, or you are an Aryan, I am a Dravidian. That is it is a dividing strategy, right? It seeks to, it is avoiding pain. That means people avoid pain by getting away from conflict, and this division is a conflict. And
so Sunil, is there a driver? Is there a motive? I mean, is there an outcome that you look at and then use this Sama Bheda? Is it always driven by for the division or uniting? Is there a purpose that goes with it for an objective?
No, the purpose, if you look at, when Vidura and all the characters in Mahabharata discuss this,
right?
It is, it says that the primary purpose of this strategy is to unite the good and divide the evil, is basically what it is, right? You have to unite the good people and divide when good people are united and the evil is divided, then dharma reigns supreme. When good people are divided and the evil is united, dharma rules supreme. That is what in the Mahabharata, that is what it is. The discussion. That's what is the outcome with discussion with Vidura, right? Yeah. So again, this is a strategy which can be used in a corporate setting, in any, right?
Yeah.
Which unites, which divides, weakens. Right. So, and then again, uniting and dividing is kind of more an intrinsic kind of motivation. And then this dana, carrot and stick, is more of extrinsic kind of motivation. Okay. And then the final one is danda. Danda means basically punishment or violence or punishment. That's the final one. And that is what Krishna is saying, right? Dando damaytamaham means among the strategies of control, the most powerful strategy is violence or punishment. Punishment is the most powerful one. And people, you can bring people in line by giving them a punishment. Right? So that is the most powerful. So what Krishna says is, among all of the strategies, avoiding punishment is the most powerful incentive for people to fall in line, to follow dharma. right? And that's why he says, that is what I am. That means that my Vibhuti is there, that one. That is the most prominent about these 4 strategies. And even if you look at Mahabharata, what happened? When Krishna and when before the war itself is Danda. The war itself is Danda strategy. And when Krishna went to the Kauravas to seek, on the diplomatic mission to seek to avoid the war, that was the Sama strategy. When he went with Karna to divide, that's the Bheda strategy, right? And then the Dana strategy is when they said, you take the whole kingdom, just give us the 5 villages. That is the Dana strategy. So Krishna used Sama, Dana, Bheda before the Kurukshetra war. That was the final Danda strategy, because none of these work, and that's the way it should be done. Violence or punishment should always be final. It should not be the first one. After Sama, Dana, Bheda fails, only then Danda comes. That's the order of implementation. Punishment is always the final form of final strategy of getting something done. Okay, so what Krishna says is Dando Damayata Maham. That means among all of these 4 different strategies, the strategy of Danda is the most powerful one, and that is my Vibhuti, as in my Avesha in it is the most, and that's what makes it most powerful. Any questions on this strategies?
So Sunil, when we say forgive, forget, and all that is a part of Sama.
Yeah, they're all part of Sama, because you seek to unite by forgiving, right? You seek to unite by forgiving. It can also be, it can also be Dana.
Giving.
Right? Because it is like, I forgive you. You're kind of giving, right? I forgive you is kind of Dana, and not really sameness. So it's all part of the Dana strategy, forgiving, giving money, commission, discount. All of these things are gifting. These are all giving to get something.
Is Krishna saying this because in the context it makes a lot of sense, because he's motivating Arjuna to fight? That's why he's saying Danda is the ultimate strategy, or is there any other?
He's saying this because, remember, this is a Vibhuti. That means in a group, they out as the most powerful strategy, right? Punishment is the most powerful among these 4. When you cannot unite, when you cannot divide, when you cannot buy through gifting, the only thing that can bring about a result is punishment. And it is shown in the Mahabharata war that, Kurukshetra war happened, after all of these things were tried by Krishna. He tried Sama, Dana, Bheda, nothing happened. And therefore, the final one was Danda.
That also means Danda is the ultimate one that you use as a strategy, not the first step.
Correct. It is always the last step, never the first step. The first step, and I think this is in the art of war as well. It is the art of war is to not to go to the war. Is to avoid the war and win before you go to the war. Because war is always the final. Danda is always the final one. So art of war, Sun Tzu's art of war, it's a strategy to win before actually physically fighting. And these are the strategies, Sama, Dana, Bheda, these are all the strategies to win before fighting. But ultimately, the final one is always, punishment. The war is always the final one. Okay, so Dando Damayatam Asmi Nitirasmi Jigishitam. And he says, among those, Jigishita means those who want to win, those who want to achieve, those who want to win, I am Niti, he says. That means there are different ways to achieve. There's the dharmic way to achieve. There's a dharmic way to achieve. There's the easy way, the quick way, all of those ways to achieve. And then there is the right way to achieve. Achievement that is done through the right way, it is the final achievement. It is the long-standing achievement. It is something that will stay forever. And that kind of achievement is Vibhuti. That means that is the most powerful one. That means that which is not easy, that which is not, through adharma, that which is not desired. All of those things, these are all different ways to win. These are all different ways to achieve. But what stands out is the ethical, moral, and the right way to achieve. That achievement, that is what I am. So Niti Rasmi Jigishita means among all the achievements, the one that is got through the right way of doing, the honest way of doing, that is who I am. That means that is the Vibhuti, that stands apart from all the means of victory or all the process of victory. What stands is the right way, the moral way, the ethical way of doing it, the honest way of doing it. That is the best way of doing it. And then Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam. Among all the secrets, I am silence. This is right. Among all the secrets, I am silence. Let's see. I think I had something. Yeah, it's a fantastic idea that among all secrets, I'm silence. It says, and what it means. It's a fantastic, it's an amazing thing. The idea of truth, there are two levels, right? And in the Ishavasya Upanishad, it is brought about beautifully in the final prayer, in the end part of Ishavasya Upanishad, where it says, Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tatvam pushan apavrunu satya dharmaya drushtaye. So that means the face of truth, the truth is covered by the shine of the sun. I mean, it's a prayer to the Antaryami, but the meaning is the face of truth is always covered by the shine, right? And Tatvan Pushan upon O Surya Deva, remove the shine so that I can see the truth. And in the world, what it means is that which is this is popular. That which is popular. Untruth, there's a lot of noise to untruth. There is not a lot of popularity. It gets a lot of likes on Facebook. Things like that. It's it goes viral. All of these that is the Hiranmaya. That is the shine. That is the shine that is there. Right there, which people get attracted to because it's easy. It doesn't need any depth. It doesn't need any effort on your part. It is very easy to have. So the rule of thumb is that which is popular is not true. That which is true is never popular, right? Because it needs a lot of effort to dig into it. And so so what he's saying is truth is mauna. That's true, nobody speaks about it. That which is true is nobody can say it's unpopular. That which is true, nobody speaks about it. And also that is the rule about of the truths when it comes to teaching big truths. He says, when it is given out easily, its value is gone. Do not give big truths easily because its value is gone, right? The big truths should always be in silence, right? You should seek truth in silence, not in loud or the shine or the glare. It's a fantastic idea because which says basically it's saying that what is true, nobody's talking about it. So don't search Twitter, search YouTube, don't search Facebook. it's not found there. It is found in an isolated place where it is very hard to reach, but it takes all that effort to reach that. Right? It ties with Niti Rasmi Jigishitam. That means that which is the right one is not easy to get. That which is right is not easy to achieve. And the same one, that which is true, it is gained in silence. It's not gained in popularity. It also is true that truth, when people really know the truth, they do not advertise it. That is also the meaning of this, right? Mauna, Gukhya is basically truth. That which is Gukhya, secret, is actually what is secret, and of which it is silence, is the greatest one. It's a silence, because truth is you seek truth in silence. You don't advertise it. You don't seek it in that which is popular. And it's a fantastic, again, I mean, this sloka itself, it has some very hard hitting things that, it takes ages to get to the depth of it. And so this is Maunam, is that silence of where truth is found. Or he's saying that truth is found in silence and not in the din, not in the noise.
A beautiful one, actually.
Yeah. So don't go by somebody getting a lot of likes, 1,000 likes. So what he's saying is true. Or his video has gone viral, so he must be true. Krishna is saying it's the opposite. That which is not viral, that nobody likes, probably that is where truth lies, because nobody likes it. Because it is not easy. Right? Because it is not easy. It is not easy. It takes effort to get to the truth. It is not one click away. Right? So that's a fantastic, very fantastic idea. So Maunam. One second.
Among all secrets, yeah.
So,
Okay.
so Sunil, does it not go contrary to what everybody wants to do, right? Everybody wants to seek the truth, but they cannot find it. Is that?
No, everybody wants to seek the easy path, the easy way.
Okay.
Right? And Krishna is saying truth is not in the easy way. Truth is not in the gossip. Truth is not in that which is loudly advertised. Truth is there where there is silence. Truth happens when there is a one-to-one conversation away from the glare. Right?
Okay.
Truth happens when you reflect by yourself.
Yeah.
Truth is there. Truth is not when in a Facebook group. Truth is not in a Facebook post. Truth is not in a Twitter post. Basically, that is what he's pointing to. Truth is not there. Truth happens in silence, and truth happens when you are alone, is what it all means.
Got it. Thanks, Sunil.
Yeah. So Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam Jnanam Jnanavatamaham. I am the knowledge, the right knowledge, the wisdom of the ones. I am the wisdom of the wise ones, because that is what is the most powerful. The wise ones have the wisdom, and that wisdom is me, in the sense that I am the cause of it. I am the one that makes it the most prominent and the most greatest one to seek. Jnanam Jnanavatamaham. Okay, so till now, till 38, he has given specifics. Vibhuti, specifics in this group itself, but because of me, right? Now he gives you the rule of thumb, right? He gives rule of thumb and says, why do you want to seek specific? I'll tell you the rule. You just understand that. Okay, so 39, verse 39, he's saying, Yat chapi sarva bhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna na tadasti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Bhutam characharam. Again, here bhuta, see, bhutam characharam. Bhutam means, the living beings. Beings, right? Living beings. Among living beings, there is charachara. What are those? Achara, bhuta is the trees, that which does not move, right? Chara is actually, remember in Sanskrita, chara means horizontal movement. Even the trees have vertical movement. It's talking about horizontal. It is not fixed in a location, but it's moving, kind of horizontal kind of movement. That is chara. So in bhutam, in beings, in living beings, there is chara and achara. That means that which moves and that which is immobile, right? Which is the trees and the plants. Bhutam, that means all beings, everything created. There is chara acharam. Chara, because any kind of movement. Trees also are animated in that sense. Animate and inanimate in that sense. Inanimate, which is non-living. That doesn't move by itself. So it brings everything under the fold. So bhutam characharam, everything that is created, that is movable and not moving. Yat chapi sarva bhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna. The cause, the root cause of everything, of creation, is what is the bija of the whole creation? The bija is nothing but prakriti, right? For prakriti itself to act, what is the root cause? Paramatma. So he's saying, so bija here is used in two ways, in the sense that bijam is the root cause of the creation, which consists of that which is movable and that which is not movable, immobile. The bijam is, the root cause is prakriti, and the root cause of prakriti is pravritti, the whole action of prakriti is Paramatma. So I am that, he says, yat chapi, whatever root cause is there, whatever root cause is there for all of the creation, tad aham arjuna, I am that root cause. For everything to happen, I am the root cause, he's saying. There's no other root cause. Prakriti is root cause. Purusha is root cause. But then the root cause of root is Paramatma. And there is no root cause for Paramatma because he is the only root cause. So he is the bijam. Bijam as in the root cause of everything that happens. Aham Arjuna, I am that, he says. Natat asti, there is nothing else, he says. Natat asti, there is nothing else. Vinayat syat maya bhutam characharam. Without me, nothing else exists. Nothing else moves. And there's a beautiful shloka, I think in Harivamsha, which is an appendix to Mahabharata. Harivamsha is an appendix to Mahabharata. It says, Dravyam karmacha kalascha swabhavo jiva evacha yadanugrata santi nasanti yadupekshaya. That means these are the class. Dravyam, matter. Karma, the activities. Right? It can be kriya, it can be karma, as in ichcha sahita karma of the living beings, or kriya of the non-living beings, the movement. Karmacha, kalascha, time. Swabhava, the nature of things. Jiva. Yad anugraha, they all exist because he wills it to exist. Nasanti yadupekshaya. If he does not will it to exist, it doesn't exist. Which is exactly what he's saying. Natadasti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Maya vina natadasti. Nothing exists without me or my intent for it to exist. So he's giving general rules of thumb. He has gone through specifics before. Now he's giving you general rules of thumb. That's 39. Okay. 40. Verse 40. Nantaha asti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa yesha tu uddeshataha proktaha vibhuter vistaro maya. That means, again, this is a rule of thumb. He says, na antaha asti. There is no end to my vibhuti, because I am in everything. I am the cause of everything. I am the give. See, each one of the things are unique, and they get their uniqueness from the vibhuti of Paramatma. His sannidhana is there. So that is itself is there. So he says, there is no end to detailing. If you want me to tell me more and more and more, there is no end to it, because it's infinite. The detail of this is infinite. So there is na antaha asti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa. Parantapa. Oh, parantapa means what? Again, there is an extrinsic. This is Arjuna's name. Parantapa is an extrinsic and intrinsic aspect to it. Parantapa means the one who is Shatrutapana. That means who is, who gives pain to the enemies. The cause of pain to the enemies is Parantapa. But also internally, Paramtapa, whose tapas is very high, of high quality. That is his reflection of Paramatma is of high quality. Both together, both applies to Arjuna. Parantapa. Right? Vibhutinam, divyanam vibhutinam, na antaha asti. There is no end to these kinds of specifics of what makes a thing great, what makes a thing unique. There is no end to it. Oh Arjuna, yeshatu uddeshataha proktaha vibhuter vistaro maya. See, vistara, what is, do you know the difference between vistara and vistara?
Vistara is greatness, is it?
Vistara is also, more, spread out, more.
More.
Vistara is also more. So the difference between Vistara and Vistara is, Vistara means it is something where it is less, but it is spoken more of. That is Vistara. Vistara means it's spoken more and it is more. Right? Here he's giving Vistara, that means what he's told is very less, but he's just told about it. But what he is, Tara. What he told is Vistara. Right? That means if it is something little that you have said, but you've said a lot about little, that is Vistara. If you say a lot about lot, that is Vistara. Okay. So, Esha tu uddeshataha proktaha vibhuter vistaro maya. So, with that intent I have told you, not like, what I have told is the complete list. There is no end to the list. The list is a vistara. What I have told you is vistara. That means there is only a little I have told you. I've told you only about little, but that is actually, it is infinite. It is inexhaustible. Right? And so uddeshataha, that is my intent. My intent was not to tell you the whole thing. My intent was to tell you a little and then let you imagine how that whole thing is. Right? That was my intent, my uddesha. Okay. And then 41. Then this is the rule of thumb. This is the rule of thumb. He says, Arjuna, yad vibhutimat sattvam shrimat urjitam evacha tat tadeva avagachatvam mama teja amshu sambhavam tejo amsha sambhavam. So he says, what is the rule of thumb? He says, yad vibhutimat. What is vibhutimat? Vibhutimat means that which stands out. Swajatiya group, Vijatiya group, like, it's in this group, same group, or among various groups, what stands out. Vibhuti means that which stands out, that which is extraordinary. Vibhuti means extraordinary, that which is extraordinary, that which is special, right? Yad vibhuti mat. That means look around in this world, whatever is special, right? Whatever stands out, whatever is on the top, all of those. Yad vibhuti mat. Shrimat, sattvam, whatever is powerful. Whatever is powerful. Okay. And then he says, Shrimat, whatever is full of prosperity, full of richness, full of all of these things. Shrimad. And then Urjitam, is growing in leaps and bounds. Urja, it's growing. Energy, full of energy, is growing, is growing and strengthening. Right? Tattadeva avagaccha. Understand that. What? Mama tejaha amsha sambhavam. All of those, they come from my teja amsha. That means it's from my avesha, from my, and this actually connects to one of my favorite mantras in the Kathopanishad, right? Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nemaha vidyuto bhanti, kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Krishna has basically explained that verse here. Na tatra suryo bhati. Sun does not shine that. Sun does not shine him. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. Neither the stars nor the moon shine it. Nemaha vidyuto bhan. The lightning does not shine it. Kutomayam agnihi. How will Agni shine? It does not even shine it. Why? Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. When he shines, all of these shine. When he shines, all of these shine. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. It's his shine that these are reflecting in their own capacities. That is teja amsha samudbhavam. What is this amsha? That means his infinite shine, and when he shines, it shines here. It's like, there's a bright sun and there is something that is a reflecting material on the sand, right? It reflects like a diamond, right? That is the world. And when that which is reflecting like a diamond, that is what is special, great, or people, or most talented, most achieving. But when you go and look at it, it's a glass piece, right? So it is not the shine is not the power of the glass piece. The greatness of the glass piece is the power of reflection. That is their karma. That is all of those things. That is their power. The real shine is what? The real shine is the sun. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. The sun is shining not because of sunshine, because of him shining. The moon is shining because of not moonshine, because of him shining, right? So that is where what is tat tadeva avagaccha. Mama teja amsha samudbhavam. Mama teja amsha. I am the one who is shining, and these are reflections of just a speck of that shine in this world, and we call them the great, right? Whether it be Tendulkar, it can be whoever is great in their fields, whoever is there, that speciality is not them. It is the reflection of the glory of Paramatma, right? Because what he's saying, yadyat vibhuti, whatever is special, tattvam, that which is powerful, shrimat, that which is prosperous and rich, urjitam, that which is bubbling with energy and expanding and all, doing all these great things, evacha tattadeva avagaccha. Understand what? Tvam, O Arjuna, you, mama teja amsha sambhavam. They are all brought about by a speck of my glory. That is, they are reflecting this speck of my glory. The greatness in the world reflects the glory of God, not the greatness of that person. Is best. Their greatness is that they are a great reflecting material. All our karmas, all the things that we do, is the karma that we do is making us a great reflector. But the reflection we see, the greatness we see, is the greatness of Paramatma. Right? I mean, this is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing idea. Okay. And Krishna is, this is unequivocal, clear, simply he has stated this. That truth of the Upanishads is this: whatever is Vibhutimat, Shrimat, Sattvam, Urjitam, it is all because of me. A speck of Amsha is not even says, Teja Amsha Samudbhavam. It's just a speck, reflection of the speck of my glory. Is the speck of my Avesha in them. That is what is the greatness. So when you see a great place, and that, this is there in let's say in Islamic, they say MashaAllah, they say Subhanallah and all that. That is the truth of this. That is this. You go and see a great place or Himalayas or some great place here. That greatness is a reflection of Paramatma's glory first. And that's why it is that. And once you start recognizing it as that, then you understand what Krishna is saying here in the 10th chapter. Right? So this is, why should I tell you the specifics, he says. But again, the specifics are specifically for meditation that he has said. Whatever he has said here is all worthy of meditation. These are all things that we need to meditate on. But then he's also given a general rule that I cannot give you specifics because the specifics are inexhaustible. Let me give you a rule of thumb. Whatever great and special that exists, that is a reflection of my glory. That is a rule of thumb. Okay, that is 41. And finally, the end of 10th chapter, Athava Bahuna etena kim jnatena tava Arjuna. Why need to know all these details? He says, Vistabhya aham idam kritsnam ekamshena stito jagat. Abba, this is like ultimate climax of the 10th chapter. And this is what is leading to the next chapter. Beautiful. He says, Athava, or he says, Bahunetena kim jnatena tava Arjuna. What is the use of knowing all these different things that I'm saying, O Arjuna? Vishtabhya aham idam kritsnam. I am, I covering everything or being wish as in entering everything, pervading everything in this creation. Ekamshena stitaha jagat. In this jagat, in this, I am controlling this whole creation with one amsha of mine. Which is actually, see, if you look at Paramatma, Purnamada Purnamidam, amsha and Purna are both the same. There is no difference between Amsha and Purna Paramatma. So Amsha is the same as Purna. Purna is the same as Amsha. But what he's trying to say is creation itself is effortless for me. It has no effort. There is no effort. Is Paramatma putting a lot of effort? Is he getting tired? He says, Ekamshena stita. That means even be aware of what is going on. I shouldn't say aware, but it's not like, it's just the whole of creation is just a speck. My one speck is created this universe, he's saying. Right? And this is elaborated in the Purusha Sukta. In the Purusha Sukta, it's elaborated. Okay. So, Vishtabhya idam kritstam jagat. Jagat kritstam, by pervading the whole of this creation, ekamshena stitaha. I am only with one speck of my form that I am pervading the whole universe and controlling the whole creation. He says, but again, that speck is the same as the infinite. There's no difference between the speck and the infinite. But again, the intent of here saying that is, I don't need effort to create and sustain and do all of these things. It is an effortless process for me, is what he's saying. Okay. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yoga Nama Dashamodhyayaha Sampurna. Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Right? That's the 10th chapter. So we'll do two things first. We will show you the Purusha Sukta, if it is available here. One second.
Sunil, was there anything else on the Tippani other than what we discussed?
Oh, in the tip. Okay, let's see. Let me go through this first and then we'll go back.
Okay.
Okay, this is the Sukta, right? This is the Purusha Sukta is, one of the foremost of the Rigveda. It's in Rigveda. It's actually in all the four Vedas. And so if you look at this one, so Rigveda, what Krishna has set up in the end of this 10th chapter, he says, I am infinite. And one speck of me is created this whole thing. It is effortless to me, right? So he has brought about the curiosity. What are you? I want to know you, right? So he has brought about that thing where Arjuna is very curious to know all of this, very curious to know all of this, right? And that Vishwarupa Darshana that is that's the climax of the Bhagavad Gita, is the Vishwarupa Darshana. That is described in the Purusha Sukta. What Purusha Sukta describes is Purusha Sukta and Rigveda, 16 riks, 16 verses, is divided into 5, 5, and 6. So there are different Purushas. First Purusha is the Vishwarupa Darshana Purusha. That's the Parama Purusha. Then we have Virat Purusha. And then you have the Yajna Purusha. So these kinds of different kinds of Purusha. So let's look at the first 5, which is the Purusha Sukta, which the Vibhuti Yoga, not the Vibhuti, the Vishwarupa Darshana's form. You might have, all of you have this. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat, Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva, Atyadishtat Dashangulam. Okay. So Purusha Evedam Sarvam, Yat Bhutam Yatcha Bhavyam, Utamratatvasya Yadanenati Rohati. So this is the Purusha that is beyond creation. And he'll explain that. That means this is the form which is not in creation. This is not the form that we see within this world. It is outside, which is with the Mukta Jivas, it is outside. That form is not even here. This form. Right? Then Etavanasya Mahima Ato Jayamscha Purusha Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasyaamritam Divi. This is what? Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasyaamritam Divi. Pada means actually Amsha. One Pada means one Amsha. So, see, Pada means fourth, right? 1/4. Like Pada comes from animals. One Pada is 1/4, right? It comes, the derivation is from 1/4 is a Pada. But also generally one Amsha, one part, one speck is one Amsha. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. Whole of this creation is sustained by one Pada, one Amsha. What Krishna said in the end, Padosya Vishwa Bhutani, one speck, one part of me, one small part of me, sustains all of this world. Tripadasyaamritam Divi. The 3 other forms are outside of creation, never part of creation or outside creation. Got it? So in the if you look at Bhagavata, there are 4 forms: Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshana. These are 4 forms. If there's 5 forms, it is Narayana, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. The 5 forms. So 4 forms. 1 form sustains the creation. The 3 forms are outside with the Mukta Jivas. They are outside of creation with the Mukta Jivas. Right? Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasyaamritam Divi. 3 is in the world of immortals. 1 is the world of mortals. That is this. Bhur Bhuvasvaha. That is one. Okay. Tripadasyaamrutam divi. Tripadurdva udait purushaha. Padosyeha bhavat punaha. Tato vishwam vyakramat sashana nashane abhi. Tasmad virala. Okay, so that tasmad virala jayata. Virajo adipurushaha. Sajato atyarichyata. Paschat bhumi mato puraha. Okay, so until this one, it is Parama Purusha. That means here, this Purusha, Virajo Adhipurusha. Adhipurusha, who is that? That is Brahma. From the Parama Purusha, from the Vishwarupa form, Brahma, who is the Adhipurusha, was formed. Adhipurusha, Adipurusha, it's on Brahma. And then he creates. So the next, from 6, it's Yat Purushena Havisha Devo Yajnamatanvata Vasantosyas. Now creation is started. Becomes Ajya. That means it is the ghee. And then the firewood is another season. The Havis is another season. So it's a very figurative kind of way of saying all of the creation. Yajna. Creation as a yajna. Right? And this is the next 5 verses are Brahma creating. How the world is created. And finally, the next 5 is Purushas, us, humans. How humans and human form. That is the next Yajna Purusha, where Yajna Purusha comes. The human comes. First 5 is the Vishwarupa. Second 5 is Brahma. And through Brahma, how Paramatma works. And the final is the Purusha who is formed in the created. Right? So why I wanted to highlight is this. Padosya Vishwabhutani. One Amsha of Paramatma is the one that is creating everything. And the whole world is dependent on it. Again, remember, there is Neha Nanasti Kinchana. There is no difference between Amsha and Puranatva. There is no difference. But here it's a figurative way of saying that it is effortless. Paramatma, it's not like, oh, everybody is involved in creation. No, it's saying one Amsha is involved, he says. Of course, even that Amsha is the same as the Puranatva, but still it is effortless in the sense that it is effortless for Paramatma. For Paramatma, creation has no effort, right? And has no meaning also in that sense. He is nothing to achieve. So Satyakama, that's why it's called Satyakama. Satyakama means not Satyakama. This one in the Upanishad, it says there, does he have any purpose to achieve through creation? It says no. All his karma is already, his wish is his wish, or his desire is all through his wish. There's nothing special needed, and therefore he is Satyakama. Satya Sankalpa, Satyakama, and therefore there is no purpose for Paramatma to create. It is just an expression of his Ananda, infinite Ananda. Right? So whatever we are going to see in the Vishwarupa Darshana, it is the Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. In Sahasra is not 1,000 heads. 1,000 heads will not have 1,000 eyes. It will have 2,000 eyes. Right? So Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapat means thousands. When we say thousands, which means infinite. Thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, thousands of legs and hands. That is nothing but what Arjuna is going to see next. Arjuna is going to see that next in the Vishwarupa Darshana. Sabhumim Vishwato Vratva. Bhudevi, or in the sense, in whole of creation, he is pervading whole of creation from all sides. Atyatishtat Dashangulam. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right? Ati Atishtat Dasha Angulam. 2 meanings are there. One, an external meaning and internal meaning. Bhumim Vishwato Vritva. That means he is everywhere. Ati Atishtat Dashangulam means he stands apart by 10 fingers. 10. Right? That means he is creating everything, but he is untouched. Nothing touches. And we have seen this in the 9th chapter. That means there is nothing, there's no, because in the 9th chapter it says, when two things touch, there is a exchange of properties, right? For Paramatma, everything he has done without touching it. So he is everywhere, but he stands 10 angulas apart. That means, it's a figurative way of saying he's untouched. He's outside, but yet he's in everything, but yet he's outside it. Beautiful, right? That is external meaning, that he's everywhere, but you cannot touch. I cannot say, oh, I'm touching God here. He's 10 fingers apart. That means he's untouched, right? That is one, external. Internally, Bhumi is navel. The navel part is Bhumi. Dasha Angula from navel is what? Heart. Ati Dashangula means he's everywhere in this universe and takes his abode in the small space of one's heart, he says. He who is the creator of everything and everywhere sits within me in the small space of my heart. Ati Atishta Dashangulam. So from the navel, the 10 angulas is where heart is. He sits in the heart. Beautiful. Ati Atishta Dashangulam. He sits apart. He sits in the heart. Both. Means both. It's Atma domain and Adidaivika domain. Different meanings. Okay. So this is the Vishwarupa form. This Vishwarupa form of the Purusha Sukta is what is seen by Arjuna and explained, and he pours it out. You'll see that when we do this, learn 11th chapter, he pours it out. It just comes out that he's seeing all of this. And Krishna creates the curiosity with that last sloka where he says, what, to know all of these things, just with one aspect of me, I create and sustain the whole of universe. So Arjuna now wants to, I want to know what is there. What are you? If it's one aspect, that's the creation and all of those things. I want to know the whole thing. Can I? And so he creates a curiosity, which leads to the next chapter where he's asking for, I want to know the whole thing. Of course, he cannot know the whole thing, but it's a fantastic, right? So this is how it is connected to the Vedas. Purusha Suktas, the first 5 verses of the Purusha Suktas is the description of the Vishwarupa Darshana, or Vishwarupa form, which is in detail explained in the 11th chapter. Okay, and what Krishna is saying in this last verse is said here, Padosya Vishwabhutani, one pada, one just my Amsha is creating and sustaining this whole of creation. Tripadasya Amritam Divi. My other form, the other 3 forms are outside of creation with the immortals. He says. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, let's. Okay, you wanted to know the Gita Vibhuti, right? Okay, let me see. Okay, so Gita Vibhuti, see, Athava Bahunetena Kim Jnatena Tavarjuna Vishtabhya Aham Idam Kritsnam Ekamshena Stito Jagat. So here, let me expand this here. See, Lakshana Mukhena Uktatat Tattvad Nishta Vibhuti Vistaradapyadhika. See, it's one sentence. This whole thing is one sentence. Vistaradapyadhika Vibhuti Vistaramaha. So he's telling what he's saying is, is giving us the rule of thumb, the vistaram, right? Athaveti, with this shloka which starts with athava. Athaveti pakshan. That means, or it's like pakshantara. That means, or all of this, or you can know this. Yetena bahuna vibhutyadi yuktaravi viprabruti tat vastu nishta parichinna vibhuti rupana vistarena jnatena tava kim na kimapi phalam. Right? So he's saying, Raghavendra Swami is saying here, is for Arjuna, as for Arjuna, it is, what I have told is less for you because you are a Mahajnani. So I have to tell you more. I'll give you a rule of thumb so you can do more than just what I have revealed here. Right? So he's saying, Vakshamana vyapta jnana phalad alpa phalatva apeksha tu vaiphalyaditi bhavaha. So it is not like it's a waste. What Krishna said is not waste, but it is for adhikapala, for Arjuna. If you take the case of Arjuna, since Krishna is telling this to Arjuna, then what this means is that what I have told you, you can do more than that. And how to achieve more than that? Let me give you a rule of thumb to achieve more than that. Right? So, tarhi kim jnatavyamityata aha vishtabhyeti. So, in the Vishtabhya, idam pramanavagatam kritsnam jagadekamshena anantamsha madhye ekamshena. There's infinite forms. Just one form is enough for all of this creation. Ekamshena iva vishtabhya vyapya. Vyapya means vyapya parva. Stitaha sarvamshena vyaptum jagat sahasramapi na alam. That means I don't need infinite forms to pervade. I just need one small aspect to pervade the whole of the creation. Right? Ataha tadrisha aparya vasitavya aptimanaham. Ataha tadrisha paryavasita aptimana vyaptiman. So that is the vyaptimanaham. I am with one form pervading because I don't need my infinite forms to pervade. Therefore I just pervade with my one form. Atas tadjnanam avashyakimiti bhavaha. That is important. Like I said, right? When Krishna says one part of me is, has created and it's just one part. You should also at the same point understand that there is no difference between that part and the whole. Right? You should understand that. Na chaitat jnanadeva moksha siddhau prag ukta parichinna vibhuti rupanam jnanam vyartamiti tadukta vyarteti shankyam ajñatvainam sarva vishesha yuktam devam param ko vimuchyate bandhanaditi shrutya. So he's quoting a shruti of some Upanishad probably. Prag ukta jnanasya avashyakatvat mahapaladhikaritvat tavobhaya jnanam avashyakam. So for Arjuna, because you are a Mahadhikari, Uttama Adhikari, you need more than this. For your sadhana, you need more than this. So he's telling the general rule is what he's saying here. See, na vishesha jnana matrena alamiti tavaitena jnatena kimiti tavetyuktam. So in that form, for that reason, Krishna is saying, why do you need all of this? Right? He says, because no, he's not saying why do you need all of this. What is the use of all of this? Let me give you a rule of thumb that gives you more than what I have told. And he said, what Sri Raghavendra Swami is saying here is that in Arjuna's context, this for your sadhana, you need this rule of thumb to do more worship or reflection of the vibhutis has been stated. Is what he's saying. So he's kind of more specifying in terms of what it means to Arjuna than the whole of humanity. So that special aspect is bringing out. Okay, so let me see. So we are 10th chapter, but I want to kind of I made a so master key. Let's go back to the master. No, not the master key. Full list. Okay, so this is what I have. So what we have seen, I just put all of these together, right? We've seen about 66 different vibhutis specified by Krishna. Okay. What I've done is I've just created this table. What is the group, right? Vibhuti means that which stands out in a group or in many groups. Vibhuti is that which is special, right? Pratyaksha or Avesha, that means is it Paramatma himself that has come as an avatara or is it an Avesha form? Jati, whether it is within a group or among many groups. Vijati means many groups, right? Then he starts with, I am Atma Gudakesha, Sarva Bhuta Hridaya Stita, or something like that, he says. So that is the Antaryami. He's in everything. He's already said that when he started, he said, I am within everything, right? So he's the Antaryami. He's Vijatiya, definitely is Vijatiya because he stands apart. Then he starts with Adityas. I am among all the Adityas. That means Aditi Putras, the 12 Aditi Putras. I am Vishnu, or who is Vamana, right? Again, that is self, Krishna himself that came as Vamana. That is Swajatiya. Okay, that means among the Adityas, 12 Adityas. And I've given you the list of Adityas and all that. Among Jyotish, that means all of the things, bright things in the sky. He says, I am the sun. I'm the sun, right? And this is Avesha form. Sun is special in the sky. It's the most brightest. It is not because of itself, because of Paramatma, right? Swajatiya. Among the Maruts, the different winds, Marichi. It's Vijatiya because Marichi is not one of the 49 Maruts. We went through the list of 49 Maruts. He stands apart from the 49 Maruts, but he's special. Among the Nakshatras. Okay. Among the Nakshatras, I'm the moon. There are 28 Nakshatras, right? 27 plus 1. Ashwini to Revati, and then the 28th one is Abhijit. Among them, but the Nakshatra Pati or the Abhimani is moon, who is not a Nakshatra. So this is a Vijatiya. So this becomes a Vijatiya. Moon is Nakshatra Pati. Right? And then, what is the other one? Among all, can you, maybe it's in our house itself. Okay. Among the Vedas, so there is a speciality here, right? Among the Vedas, it's actually the Rig Veda, which is important. Because of the music. And he specifies this in some of them, that which is really not top, he specifies that because of one aspect of it. For Samaveda, even though Rig Veda is among the Vedas, special because of the music aspect to it, right? And then among the Devas, again, Indra is not really the top of the Devas. He didn't say Brahma, he didn't say Shiva, he didn't say, Garuda Shesha, all of those things. He said Indra. So he's only taking a Purvasvaha, just the Devatas, and not the above, the Devatas above Indra. There's a lot of Devatas above Indra. So he didn't take that. Again, that is in a limited sense. He is in the Bhurvasvaha, Indra is the top Devata. Okay. And then Indriyas, among all of the sense and organs of actions, Manas is the top. right, stands at the top. Among all the beings, it is consciousness, awareness, Chetana, that is at the top. Among all the Rudras, the 11 Rudras, Shiva, who is the Lord of the, is on the top. Among the Yakshas and the Rakshasas and the Bhutaganas, Kubera stands on the top of all of the Bhutaganas. Agni is the of all the Astavasus.
It automatically turns me as a host because I'm the first, I believe, right? You see me and the first, Anand, in the screen. You muted. You see me, the first person.
Yes.
That is why. That's why
It comes to you.
it comes to me. Yeah. You are next to me, right? You are next to me.
Correct.
You're almost there.
Yes.
And 10 years. You started from the first chapter, right, Anand?
Yes.
Even in 10 years, huh?
Yes. Oh. From Gita first chapter I have started. I was also there for a few classes of
Katapunishat.
Yes.
I started Katapunishat middle, actually.
Yes. But I did not understand much during Katopanishad. I barely.
It was too early and too much.
Yes.
Dose was too much for that age.
Yes.
Yeah, this is really ridiculous. I don't know where did you lose me?
We finished Sunil
Agni.
Devatas Indra and Indriya's Manas Chetana we did, Rudra and Kubera we did, Agni. So we are on 13th now, Meru.
Meru. Yeah. So I was asking, do you know what Meru is? Is what I'm asking.
It's the reverse of that mountain.
Mountain, right?
The
Meru.
point.
It is the
Reverse of the
pole.
mountain.
The pole.
Top of the pole. Yeah.
The axis of the earth.
Yeah.
That is an invisible mountain. So that is a Meru. So Meru Pradikshana, that means all of the things they take Meru Pradikshana means it's the pole. It's the center. So Merudanda of the human body is what? The spinal cord. So it's the center. Okay. Purohit, among all the Purohitas, Brihaspati stands out. Among all the warrior generals, Kartikeya, Skanda stands out. Among the bodies of water, lakes, streams, ocean stands out. It's the topmost. Among all the Maharishis, Bhrugu Maharshi stands out. Among all of the words, Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
we
I
left it
think
at home.
Om, and among all the yajna, right? And then I finished all this, right? Where did I stop?
Home. You stopped at home.
Om. Okay. Among all the yajnas, japa yajna, among all the achalas, it is Himalaya. It is actual. See, Meru mountain. Meru is it's an axis, right? But actual mountain is Achala. Achala is a mountain that unmoving, non-moving. That's the Himalaya. And then among all the trees, it's Ashwattha Vriksha. Okay. And among all of the Devarshis, it's Narada. Among all the Gandharvas, Chitraratha. And we have gone through each one of these stories, right? We have gone through each one of these stories. Story of Chitraratha. Among all, yes, Kapila Muni, the father of Sankhya, right? And he is Pratyaksha Rupa, right? He is Pratyaksha. That means Paramatma himself, his avatara to Devahuti, that is Kapila. Among all the horses, Uchchaishravas, the one that comes from the the churning of the ocean. Among all the elephants, Airavata, the ride of Indra. Among the people, the king is special. It stands on the top. Among the weapons, again Vajrayudha. Again, this is limit. Bhutbhasvaha. There is Shiva's trident. There is chakra. There is all of those things. They leave all of those and just in a limited group. It is Vajra. Right. Among the cattle, Kamadhenu. Among all the desires, Kama. Right. And among all the snakes, Vasuki, and all the cobras are the Naga, Sarpa and Naga, the difference. Among all the Sarpas, Vasuki, which is Sarpa means that which goes on the ground. Naga means that which is hooded. So among all the cobras, it is Shesha. Among the sea creatures, Varuna, the lord of the sea creatures. Again, that is Vijati. And then among the Pitrus, Aryama. Among all of the ones that can Yama. Among the Asuras and the Daityas, Prahlada. Among things that bind us, time. Among animals, the king of animal, lion. Among the birds, the king of bird, Garuda. Among things that flow, the things that blow, wind or Mukhya Prana. Among the warriors, Rama. Among the fishes, either crocodile, which becomes Vijatiya, or whale. Streams, among all the streams, Ganga. Leaving aside Saraswati, right? On what was at that time, the biggest was Ganga, because Saraswati had already dried up. Ganga. Among all the Vidyas, knowledge, Adhyatma Vidya. Among all the dialogues or debates, Vada, which is where you seek to learn the truth through the conversation. Among all the alphabets, A. Among all that are combined, Dvandva, because it gives importance to both the words. Remember, we did that in the class. Among that which never dies, time. And in Brahma, I am Dhata, right? And Vishvatomukha. Among everything that brings about an end, yes, I am Mrityu, the final destruction, Mrityu. Among all the Sama, the Brihat Sama style of singing. Among all the Chandas, Gayatri Chanda, 8 times 3, 24. Among all the months, Margasa. Why?
That's the first month of the year. I forgot the word you said for the that kind of a
Agrahayana, that is the first month of the year, is actually in the ancient times was Margashira Masa. So it starts this time, December 15th, December 14th is an eclipse, not visible here, but there's an eclipse. December 15th is Margashira Masa. So celebrate it as a new year. like the new first. So from December 15th to January 15th, it's, and if you see traditionally, all over India, there's a lot of activity going on, because of that. A lot of important things goes on in between December 15th to January 15th. And then Margashira Masa. Among all the seasons, spring season, right? Among all the things that you did, gambling, right? Again, so it's not all good. That which stands out on top in the bad is also, it's the greatness is my reflection, he says, right? And then among all the tejas, Tejasvinamaham, the tejas is because of me. And then Vyavasaya, that means among all the endeavors that we do, victory, Jayosmi, Vyavasayosmi, he says. I am the victory in endeavors. And I am the effort in the endeavors. So when you say victory, it is the end. When we say Vyavasaya, it is the effort that leads to that end. Both of them are me. He says, both of them are from me. And among Sattva, I am among in all the sattvas, the power. Sattva is also power. So power, I am the power, the energy, the power, that's the Sattva. Among the Yadavas, I am Krishna, of course, that's the Pratyaksha Rupa. Among the Pandavas, again, it's a limited sense, right? Leave aside Bhima, who's kind of above Arjuna, but among others, you are the greatest. And of course, it is his Vamsha that continues the Kuru line. And then among the Munis, Vedavyasa. Of course, Vedavyasa is again Pratyaksha Rupa. Among the seers, Shukra, limited sense, because Brihaspati is also seer, but in a limited sense, Shukracharya. Among that which dominates, the strategy that dominates, it is Danda, the punishment, right? It's Danda. I should say punishment, not violence, but say punishment. So Danda, punishment, Dandaniti.
Sunil,
Yes.
I'm sorry I was not there for the Pandavas and Arjuna class. It should Pandavas Avesha should be Vijatiya or Swajatiya?
No, it's a Swajatiya.
Oh, it's Swajatiya.
Yeah, because it's among Pandavas, right?
Only among Pandavas. There is no other group that we are comparing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For in a limited sense, he says among you. See, among Pandavas, you stand on the top. But again, just like among Devas, Indra is on the top.
Right.
But he's not considering, Shiva and Brahma and Mukhya Purana and all of those things.
Okay.
He's removing their Bhima and just saying, just if you, in a limited sense among the Pandavas, and especially because it is your line that is going to continue as the Kurus.
Okay. Okay.
Because, his grandson is going to be the king, Parikshit. So, that is why that comes through, is because of my Avesha is in you. Okay.
Okay, Sunil, thank you.
And this is what we have done today, right? Among all the secrets, I'm silence. And among Jnanam, Jnanavatamaham. So knowledge of the wise ones. So about 66, and there's other things he has said, but 60 specific things, groups, and that which stands out on the top of the group, or on top of a group in a limited sense, different ways of doing, or many groups. He has given examples, these 66 examples, and they said these are special. And what he's saying, when anyone is, they are not special because of themselves. They're special because they are reflecting my glory to their capacity. He is reflecting Paramatma's through his Avesha to his capacity. And that's why in the end, Gita Vibhuti says, because his capacity, his capacity is so much, Uttama Adhikari, his reflection should be more than what he's mentioned here. His reflection should be more than that. So he gives a general rule that, this is what you need to think. So this is full list of things that we have dealt with in the 10th chapter. And we have gone through every one of these stories. We've gone through in detail, in depth, all of the stories related to each of these characters, each of these things. and where they stand and all of those. Hopefully, you have some understanding and a better appreciation of Vedanta and what Puranas talk about. And I want to just give you a glimpse of the next chapter by going through the master key for the next chapter, because next chapter is Vishwarupa Darshana, is the climax of Gita, right? And many of them have even said, see, all Krishna's words did not have the impact, because Arjuna, once he saw the Vishwarupa Darshana, he said, you are a willing instrument in this war. But that is not really true. That is, the curiosity that Krishna has created, through his words, putting the desire for Arjuna to see that form. But when the beginning of the chapter itself, he says, I am convinced. I am your willing and convinced. That's how the 11th chapter starts. I'm convinced. But the desire to see you is there. Can I see you? That's what it starts. So what is the master key? This is amazing. Okay, this is out of the world, amazing master key. We did the master key of 10th chapter. Remember, I told you how to think of this 10th chapter. How to think of the 11th chapter is a master key. It is an amazing understanding. Vedanta is built on this, right? And reality is different levels. Reality is different levels. Okay, and one conception, like for example, I'll give you a related thing. Sound, right? When we speak, it is supposed to be in 4 levels. One is a manifestation level. That means you're hearing what I'm speaking. This is a physical manifested sound. This is the reality, right? 3 parts are below this. 3 parts of sound are below this. It's called para, pashyati, madhyama, and the vaikhari. Vaikhari is expressed. Vaikhari vak means that which is expressed. That which you are listening to, that you are hearing, that's the vaikhari. But it starts off as para in the navel. It says para is when it's like if you think of the speaking process, to speak occurs. I mean, these are all very below the conscious level, but I'm just giving you the process, at least according to the Vedas, the Upanishads. Para means the desire to speak, the desire to say something, right? Even I'm not thinking now, I'm speaking, right? But there is below my conscious level, there is a desire to speak something, but all of these are automatically happening. I don't control it. It's happening. Okay, somebody wants to say something. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Para means the desire to speak something arises in the mind. Pashyati is when that is now transformed to what you're going to speak, what you're going to say. Then madhyama, it combines with the desire and all of those things. And then vaikhari, that comes out as a physical speech. This happens in a fraction of a second. I mean, this is not, of course, there is also, when you are with effort doing this, I want to say this, speak. But generally, when you're speaking, the desire and the expression, there it just happens. I mean, it's just like that. But it is actually in 4 stages. Para, conception, pashyati, madhyama, vaikhari. Okay, so these 4 stages. In the same way, the world is conceived in these 4 layers of reality. The vaikhari reality is the physical reality. That means the things that we see around, the events that are happening in this world, right? They're happening in this world in different places, to different people. What we see, the physical reality, that is the vaikhari reality, right? You can step back one more, like one level up. kind of a meta level of reality. This is the systemic reality. There's a system to it, right? And you can see in Vedanta rarely speaks about physical reality. It's not interested in physical reality. It starts with systemic reality. Okay. So, for example, when it says prana, pitta, vata, or shleshma, these are systemic reality. They're not physical reality, right? That means when pitta is manifested, pitta is here. It's a system. Physical reality would be a boil on your cheek, or some kind of some kind of a thing. What do you call it? I forget the medical term for that. Some kind of a boil, right? Some kind of
Acne you're talking about? Acne? Or pimples?
Abscess?
no, not infection. There's something else.
Acne, right?
No. I'm not talking about that. Of course, acne is fine. That's pitta. But I'm talking
Kannada,
about.
there is something called hulu, like the thing comes on your.
Yeah, all of those things. But in general, all kinds of boils you have.
Inflammation.
Yeah, that's why I needed a doctor. Inflammation, correct. Inflammation. That's what I was trying to get that word. So inflammation, right? Pitta, when it is, udreka, that is extreme form, as it is going out of balance, starts inflammation, right? Those inflammation. So the inflammations have these manifestations. These are all manifested. When things get manifested, they are here. Okay. Every manifestation, piles, that's another pitta, right? Acidity, a manifest system. It's a same system, but it's a manifestation in some organ or some way, right? Some kind of a thing, pitta. Okay. Vata diseases, right? Vata, ativata, people who are shaking, that's movement. Vata means movement. So the more movement, people who cannot or restless have more of vata, a lot of vata. So, and shleshma or kapha is basically mucus, some kind of mucus and some kind of water retention. Those are all kind of manifestations. These are manifestations of a system. And if you look at Vedanta, it does not talk, it rarely talks about the manifestation. It talks about system. System you cannot see. Manifestation you can see. It's physical reality. This you can see here, physical reality. You can see the boil, you can see the inflammation, you can see different things, but you cannot see the system. If somebody asks, show me pitta, means you cannot show pitta. Show me vata, you cannot show vata. They are all system, right? The same way, above that, it is tejas, ojas, prana. It is even more subtle. See, as you go, see, this is the gross level. This is gross level. This is subtle, very, very subtle. You cannot see this. You can see this. Feel this. See in the sense that you can feel it, sense, 5 senses, right? So, tejas, again, that is, the tejas is the precursor to pitta. It is the tejas in the body, right? And then ojas is the precursor to shleshma, or it is said to be the stamina, that which gives the stamina, the ojas. It's in the heart, they say, right? And then if somebody says, show me ojas, you cannot say ojas. But they say you eat a lot of almonds, you get ojas. Right? So, but again, you don't know the specific manifestations, but because they're not talking about physical reality, they're not talking about manifested reality, they're talking about systemic reality. Prana is a precursor to vata. Prana. Again, show prana, you cannot show prana. It is kind of sum total of muscular neural activity in all of those things. kind of electrical activity of the body, right? That is kind of prana. And extreme of those electrical activities leads to unrest, and people, ADD, ADHD, all of those things are vata rogas. But again, these are all, when it manifests, you know where it is. But systemic level, if somebody says, show me prana, you cannot show prana. But you can show breath. How you can influence prana? Through the breath, of course. But, but you cannot directly influence prana. Okay, so these are subtle systemic reality. On top of it is Daiva. So these are the Devatas level. The Devatas that are controlling these systems. They are the Devatas that are controlling, right? And a very good example, I've given this before. Physical reality, A kills B. A kills B is physical reality. That's what we see. And the newspaper reports A killed B. In the systemic reality, the B was killed by Yama. Or in not systemic, in the Daivic reality, the B was killed by Yama. In the systemic reality, B was killed because prana left him. Okay. In the Daivic reality, Yama killed him. Yama killed him. And then finally, in the Paramartha reality, Paramatma killed him. Right? So who killed B? All of these are true. A killed B, true. B was killed, Prana left him, true. Yama killed him, Mrityu killed him, Shiva killed him, true. Paramatma killed him, true.
Very nice.
All of these are true. Okay. So, but you cannot say, then we punish A for killing B. No. The nimitta was A's karma. The nimitta was A's karma, for he needs punishment for that. But A's karma killed. The karma was, and B's, this one, the B's prana went away. That is the systemic. And Yama took the prana away because Paramatma, according to A's karma, made him take the weapon and kill him. And finally, Paramatma in A made him, through the prachodana, to kill. And Paramatma in B left the body and killed him. So basically, in the Paramartha level, it is one man show. And in the second chapter, Krishna talks about this. A is the killer, B is the kill, both don't know, he says. Neither A kills nor is B killed, he says. That is the Paramartha reality. A independently cannot kill, B independently cannot die. Right? And this is at the, all these realities are simultaneously happening. All of these realities are simultaneously happening. And I'm going to give you an example of Jyotishya. Shakuna Shastra. Do you know what Shakuna Shastra is? All right, omen. Good omen, bad omen. Right? You know that, right?
Yeah, the
Drishti, right?
is not good.
Like that, right? So let's say when you start something, a crow went by, or something is there, right? Now they say, oh, then something is, that means what has happened? Let's say you are going and somebody stole money from you. That is a physical reality, right? You went somewhere, somebody stole money from you. This is a physical reality of event manifested in physical realities here, event manifestation. Then that event did not manifest right there. That event actually was conceived in this reality, flowed through this reality, came into the system and expressed through two actors, you and the one who stole from you. What you see is you and that person that stole from you is what. but what conceived happened before, right? So when you say in the Jataka, when they say, something is bad is going to happen, how do they know? Because they're looking at this level. They're looking at the Daiva level. Because the event is in motion. For some adrida karmas, and all of those things can stop it level and prevent it from manifesting. Right? If everything that conceives here comes through, then there's no need for any puja, because it's certainly going to happen. Why you need puja? Because it can be stopped at these levels. Mitigated, not just stopped, sometimes not stopped, but mitigated at this level. Because when it manifests lightly, not in a big way. Okay. So now, when the crow came and touched you, like you got not crow came, you got your money was stolen somewhere. Okay, that's a physical reality, manifestation of physical. But then, let's say the event was in motion. When the event is in motion, the Daiva reality, certain symptoms will manifest in the physical reality. That is called as Shakuna. Omen. When we call omen, good omen, bad omen. I mean, it's not just bad things, even good things, right? Good sign, we say, oh, it's a bad sign. Oh, it's a bad, oh, this is a very bad sign. Oh, it's a very good sign. Right? So that event going through gets physically manifested. Manifested as when you step out of the house, a lizard fell on you. I'm just giving an example. I know, this is Shakuna Shastra. There's a lot of things. It falls on your right shoulder. Let's say it's all true, right? So that means that lizard falling is still physical reality. But what? It's a manifestation of symptom. And it is just like the disease process, right? The disease starts somewhere. But when it is in motion, the symptoms are, something happens, your nails are brittle, there's something is going on, your eyes are, red or, color, white color. Those are things that are manifesting because something is brewing inside. Then once it comes out, it fully comes out, right? That's a full manifestation. So symptom is the Shakuna is, I think, what symptom, which is actually physically manifest. As the event from conception is in motion, certain symptoms get manifested. That is called a Shakuna. When last year, when the eclipse happened in December, with 6 planets being there, that was a symptom of that which was in motion, which was coronavirus, right? So something bad is going to happen because it was a Shakuna. Something, it's not Shakuna, but it was a sign that something bad is going to happen. It did not happen because of the eclipse. Eclipse was a sign that something was in motion, coming to be manifested. 1 second, let's see. Something was manifesting. And so, what Arjuna, so you understood this, right? Physical reality is the things that's going on, that things you'll see. Systemic is where there are connections between all. What happens there is connected to what happens here. It's a system. So you have to step out to a meta level, a higher level, to see the connections. Oh, that happening there is connected to this happening here, because it's a, right? That's a systemic level. Then on top of it is the Daivic level, right? Where the event is now coming and then the symptoms are being manifested, right? And then the conception level is at the Paramatma level. That is what Krishna is showing in the Vishwarupa Darshana. See, in the Vishwarupa Darshana, Arjuna sees that Drona, Bhishma, Karna, and all the warriors from both sides are being crushed in the mouth of Kala. They're already, and Krishna says, they're already dead. Maya hatam stvam jahi. He says, those that are killed by me, you go ahead and kill. What does it mean? Killed by me, which means their killing has already happened at this level, and that is going to happen, right? So that event manifesting here and here, and then in the physical manifestation, Arjuna will be the one that kills them. But what has killed is already conceived here. Bhishma is already dead. In this level, Bhishma is already dead. In the Daiva level, it comes in motion. And then in the manifestation level, Arjuna is an instrument, right? That's what Krishna says. You are instrument. You are an instrument. That means what has conceived and what is supposed to happen is already done here and is being done. What these events need is an actor, an agent. And that is what you are. You are an agent through which the event is going to be manifested. You are not the creator. Don't be under the delusion that you caused it. You did not cause it, because event happens much before you even think of that. Right? I mean, this is the reality. I mean, Krishna is giving the reality that when we think of reality, the reality is at multiple levels. We think the physical reality is the reality, but no, there are other levels above that where the event is actually flowing through, and then it gets manifested. Right? Kali Yuga is a systemic reality. Satya Yuga, Yuga cycle is a systemic reality. Manvantara cycle is a systemic reality. These are system. When in the system, Kali Yuga, it means that
Did we lose the voice?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we lost him.
Sunil might have turned mute on.
No, he's reconnecting.
Okay.
okay. Right? So what Krishna is showing in the Vishwarupa Darshana is this. Right? This is where the events are conceived. The event is conceived there. The event is the bija, right? Is the root cause is not here. The root cause is here. And when you know the reality of this, you no longer associate or assign yourself the agency of anything. You are the instrument through which things are flowing.
Sunil, is this any way tied to, I'm just thinking aloud here, and is this any way tied to the concept of time that you talk about, that you talked about in the earlier classes, that in the Devaloka, the time is very different. In the systemic reality, the time period is different. In our case, it's like 24 hours. And the Yuga time, it's different. And the Daivik time and the Paramatma time is very different, right? Krishna has already killed all of them. It's going to go ahead, and that has already happened. So is it because of the time?
No, it's not because of the time. No, it is reality itself. It's actually this multi-level reality. right? Simultaneously exist together. What we see is the manifested reality. What is, even though, yes, when the event conceives and when it is going to manifest, there is a time difference, but it is not the difference because of the time that each one of these, their units of time are different.
Right.
That is not, no, that's not.
Okay. No, because that incident has already happened in the future, right? I mean, Krishna has already killed all of them before, and then now in physical reality, Arjuna
No,
is.
he has not killed them in the physical manifested reality.
Oh, yeah, he has not killed them in the
In
physical.
the Paramarthika conceived, it's the event of Bhishma's killing is conceived in the Paramarthika reality.
Okay.
But it's being set in motion, but it is not being manifested until Arjuna's bow hits him.
Right.
I mean, his arrows hit him.
Right.
Until then, it is not done, because the event needs an agent to manifest,
Right.
and Arjuna's agency is for that to manifest.
It
And
is
that's
like
why in the 11th chapter, Krishna says, even without you, all of these guys are going to die, he says. Therefore, it doesn't matter, you go fight the war, he says. I mean, the 11th, he's being very ruthless. If you will see in the 11th. In the Paramarthika, this guy, that guy, this guy, doesn't make any difference. Everybody is an instrument. And he says, these are all dead. With or without you, that this war is going to happen. With or without you, all of these guys are going to die. So don't associate and assign yourself with the cause of this. You are in this, is basically what Krishna says. And then, so whatever Krishna has told till now, when Arjuna sees that vision, it sits in him. It gets, he's like, okay. He says, I am your willing weapon. I will fight. That is when the change happens in the 11th chapter. Even though at the beginning of the 11th chapter, he says, I understood everything. But when he sees the vision and he sees these four realities and how these events are manifesting and how it's coming out and how he is really irrelevant in this. He's irrelevant in this. When he sees that, that is when he says, I am going to fight. Krishna says, Maya hatam stvam jahi. They're already killed by me. You go kill them. Right? And then nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. He says, you are nimitta matram. That means this event that is manifested, conceived, and in motion needs an agent, a nimitta, an instrument. If you are not the instrument, it is going to be manifested through somebody else. Right? It is bound to happen. Be a willing instrument and earn the merit of doing the dharma karya. Right? So this is the actual overall conception of Vedanta, of how events manifest and how things conceived, events are conceived and how they are put in motion and how it is actually systemic. And then the symptoms are manifested first and events get manifested. Right? So it's very important to understand Vedanta does not Yeah, yeah. It's so ridiculous. It's just AT&T is like, they upgraded my system. This is the upgrade I got again. So, I was saying the systemic thing is connecting the random things together, right? I was saying, I think you didn't hear probably because it got disconnected. Is a pimple here and an inflammation there, or a boil there, or acidity in the stomach. They are not disconnected events. When you go to the systemic level, it is like pitta udreka, that is system. So you treat the system, the manifestation will go away, right? So it is concerned about those things, right? And then on top of it, okay, some kind of a, in the jataka, in your horoscope, it will show something, some fiery planet is somewhere else. So it will tell you that this is connected to karma. The events are connected to karma. So why the pitta itself is like this? So all of those things, when you wear a stone, a ring, right? What you're doing is the physical manifestation. You're saying this is whatever it's physically, but that's going to affect. So I talked about event affecting manifestation. Then there is manifestation affecting, because I said you can stop what is coming through, right? And how can you stop? You have to do it in the physical reality. When you do puja, when you do homa, when you do japa, or when you wear, these stones, you're all doing it in physical reality, right? So that means what you do in physical can affect what is coming through, right? The motion, the events that are coming through. So that is also possible, right? So when you stop it there, the same way, it affects the systemic thing, and then affect the manifestation of those things. So Vedanta is not concerned about physical reality. We can learn things in the physical reality ourselves. You don't need a book to tell you that. What it tells you is that which you cannot conceive of, you cannot see. The system you cannot see. It talks about those systems. And then how, those realities, those three realities, that is the thing. And in the 11th chapter, it's all about the Paramartha reality, that is event conception level, where the event conceives and then set into motion. And then, that what was conceived and set in motion appeared in before the Mahabharata war as Shakunas, where, Vyasa says, oh, this planet is happening, there's going to be a big war, right? And all the people will be killed, right? But that's being set in motion. And these things that are planetary things that are happening, or these are the symptoms that are showing up, physically manifesting. It's a red light showing, it's going out, there's an indication something is not right. But where the event conception is, that is what Krishna shows. Event conception is there, right? This is how you need to understand Vedanta. This is Vedanta. For people who say, show me this, show me how it works, show me this, they don't understand that reality works in these three levels first, before the manifestation. Therefore, for them, Maunam is, don't try to convince. I was trying to debate and all of those things for a long time. I left all of those things. For me now, I will tell you, if you take it, leave it, because for me, my understanding is important for me, right? Like that. So this is how, people, show me logically. No, logic doesn't work. That's why it's called anumana. Manam anusarati. It is like, what you have seen, the regularities of it makes logic. Logic is just anusarati. That means it follows the regularities. It will not tell you something new. It will never tell you something new. So it's a Vedanta that tells you something new, right? So it's very important to understand it this way. Okay. So this is kind of a precursor understanding of what is coming in the climax of Gita, which is Vishwarupa Darshana. So whatever Arjuna is going to see, Krishna is going to show him, is at the event conception level. This is the level where in the Purusha Sukta it says Tripadasyaamrutam Devi. This is the big thing behind every reality that is happening. Nobody is doing anything. Nobody is getting anything. There is only one thing that's going on in the Paramarthika. Right? So that is the reality that Krishna is going to talk about in the next chapter. Questions? Nothing? That's it? I mean, what I told you is it's an amazing reality.
Yes.
It's
You used to give another
conception of
explanation.
how.
Sunil.
What is
You,
that?
you used to give another explanation, right? Like, the turning on the switch, and then already the system is wired, and then we are just turning on the switch, and then, like we think we are doing it, but
Yeah.
already somebody is producing the electricity, and then, like somebody already wired it. I'm just turning on the switch. So
Right.
it is, how do you connect that with this one?
So that is agency, right? When you turn on the switch, that is agency. The coming of the event manifestation, right? So the event, of course, that light turning is insignificant, but I'm saying when the event light turning, if light turning is an turning on a light is an event, it conceived somewhere, and it was through my agency that it was manifested in physical reality.
Okay.
Right? So when that people who say I did it, I did this, I am the cause, I am this, I am that, don't know mudaha. That means they're fools, because they don't know that how things work in this world, is what Krishna is saying. Right? So next chapter is very hard hitting. It's fantastic climax of the Gita. Right? So it is something like it's a thing that 11th chapter is something that you need to just take in. There's no analysis. There's nothing. I'll just be speaking and then explaining the verses and what everything should be understood with this thing. With this precursor, this master key. This is how it is, and we are talking at this level. Once you understand this, everything becomes all right. Whatever a contradictory thing Krishna is saying, that I've already killed them, how is that? That is all because of this. Because event manifestation and event conception is two different things. That occurs at two different levels. Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
We will stop at this. I think we will do one more. I will start Vishwarupa Darshana next class, and then we will take up fully in January.
Sunil, this is Gautam. One quick question.
Yes.
How do you prevent this knowledge and attitude from regressing into fatalism and saying, I'm not going to do anything?
Right.
It's all predetermined anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's a great question, because when we were talking about trigunas, right, there are extremes and there is. So rajas is if you look at this in the conception of agency as rajas, tamas, and sattva, the rajas agent says, I did it, I am the cause of it. That is the rajasic thinking. The tamasic thinking is, nothing is in my hands, I can't control anything. But the sattvic is the mean of, kind of a mixing of these two things. That means I, because of my karma, my effort and all of those things, I help manifest this, but I am not the ultimate cause of it. I am a part of the cause. And we were the Karma Yoga, the 3rd chapter, he said, I am the partial cause of the event manifestation, but I am not the cause. I am a partial cause, one of the causes. So fatalism is, nothing is in my hands. I didn't do anything. I cannot do anything. That is not good. Then rajasic ways, taking yourself as the real, agent, the one who brought about everything. That is also not good. That's ahankara, not good. But the reality is, my effort is needed to bring about the daiva into manifestation. I am the willing tool through which these things are manifested, because me acting is what brought about this manifestation, and that is what is my greatness. Is just like Krishna in the Vibhuti Yoga, the greatness of that great person is that he is a good reflector of the greatness of Paramatma. But being the good reflector is the greatness of that person. Right? The same way, the great things that we do is Paramatma's greatness coming through us as an event manifestation. But because we are manifesting it, that is our greatness, that he has chosen us as the ones whose efforts manifest this. So that is the greatness, right? So there's no fatalism here. Fatalism is tamasic. It is bad. We are willing, willing instruments, willing weapons in this fight, bring about a event manifested through us. That there, without Purushaka, there is nothing that happens, right? So that is, but that's a great question. Very, very important to know that.
The rowing of the boat story, Sunil.
Rowing the boat, right? So where Daiva is the wind that is blowing, but Purushakara is us rowing. You have to row. You have to row, because without rowing, the boat is not going to go to the other side. Might make it easier to go to the other side when it is, when you have the hands, it might be difficult, but again, you have to row. Without rowing, you cannot go to the other. So that is very important. You have effort with this event manifestation, and being a willing instrument to put forth this this manifestation is very important, and that is the sattvic. And what's and that's it. It takes some time to understand that this is not fatalism, right? And that's the problem with these things, because when you tell these things, it looks like fatalism, but it is not fatalistic, because there is that contradiction there. Because without you, your effort is required, and without Arjuna, it would have manifested, is what Krishna says. But then Arjuna is a willing instrument, and because he manifested those events, that is his greatness, that he was a willing instrument to manifest.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So next class we'll take up the Vishwarupa Darshana, the first, at least the first few slokas, and after that we'll pick it up from January. Okay, so let's finish this. Om Vasudeva Devam Kamsachanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Om. Okay then. See you next week.
Thanks a lot, Sunil.
Bye.
Thank you, that was great.
Thank you.